Hey, welcome back to the channel everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. I thought today would be a really cool discussion just to talk about the two different main programs that I use for VST software, like the amplitudes and the positive grid bias, and let you make up your mind which you think is best for you. Yeah, you can see on the screen here now. I've just brought it up. Get that out the way. You've got your three windows. I've got the bias amp window here, where I've always described the bias amp software as software that I would record like a professional rhythm track to. If I was recording an album or something, this is probably the software I would use to lay down my rhythm tracks. You can sculpt a really good basic rhythm tone, go through all the different you can really transform your bass tone for what you're going to do. So there's that. If you just like to tinker and play with the guitar and so forth, Bias FX gives you a whole bigger scope of ambience and sound and tonal diversity. Very much the same as what Amplitude does. Like with your amplitudes, like I've been through some of these, like there's massive amounts of tonal variations you can get out of the one amp, and there's so many amps with amplitude. The first one we've got here is amplitude and an Iron Maiden sort of sound that and I'll play that back through Bias FX in a similar tone, but you can see they'll have their own variation of flavour, and neither's better. I think they're just both good in different ways. If I can play it right. Yeah, you've heard those too. I'm sorry for the mistakes. I'm just trying to show you the tonal spectrum of what they're both about. Neither's better, neither's worse. It's just they're just different. The Bias FX, I've managed to get a really good EVH sound with that, but I can't seem to get that same tone with amplitude. Okay, now we'll talk about the bias amp and where I find the strengths lie with that, because on its own, you can hear now a bit of Megadeth sort of riffing. You can hear on its own, it's a little bit thin, it's a little bit like there's no ambience to it, it's just a really dry rhythm track. If I was to play it over this, it might not sound the best. I'll switch now to amplitude and just compare amplitude with the bias amp, which but too, I forgot to say, amplitude and bias FX are coming out as a stereo signal, so they're going to sound bigger and going to sound fuller, whereas bias amp is a mono signal that comes out, so it's, until you record a left and a right with bias amp, you're not going to get that full sound. But when you do record left and right, it sounds awesome. It sounds like a real professional recording. Actually, here's a clip I just did before using these two tracks, and we'll let this play again. I'll bring them both in, panned left and right respectively. So you get the idea of that, how that sort of works, and you can see why I'm a huge fan of bias amp. Like you can sculpt the tone from the ground up, and record your tracks left and right, and you get a really nice, really crisp sound. But most of us just sit with our guitars though and just want to noodle and play a song, and you'll find that a little bit limiting with that software. So we'll keep on going down. Oh, classic, always Metallica, and Justice for All. And we'll switch now to bias FX. So you get the idea with that. They both do a cool Metallica, just in different ways. And you've all heard the way that bias amp, the mono bias amp, how if I was to record left and right using that same And Justice for All preset that we captured, that sounds very authentic as well, but then you've got to be doing that in a recording sense. On its own, it sounds thin. So that sounds cool even on its own. You don't need a stereo track, but compared to so there's no winners there. It's just all a little bit different. Judas Priest through amplitude window. Now through bias FX. Again, both very cool. Some softwares just seem to capture different tones sonically a little bit better. Amplitude with Def Leppard is always been a favourite of mine. And this is through Bias FX. Yeah, so as far as value for money goes with what you get for each package, look, the Amplitude one has the ability of the custom shop, which I think is a great idea, and so you can get. I think the bare Amplitude is free. I think it doesn't cost any money, and you can go into the custom shop and just buy what amps you need and what parts to build that amp you need, and look, the 2 amps out of this that I use most today, over the years I've used many, but right now I think the greatest amps they've got to offer is this Brit 8000 model, and where's the other one? The Mesa Boogie Mark IV. So if you were just to get the free version, I suppose, and upgrade it with the Mesa Boogie Mark IV and the Brit 8000 amp, you've got a massive amount of sculpt in there and guitar tones that you can create, and I don't think it will cost you much money at all. Like, they could be like €20 or something an amp. I don't know, but I just know you can buy them separately and they're pretty cheap. You can buy them in a bundle, of course, but why buy the bundle? Why buy the Mesa Boogie bundle when all I use is the Mark IV? As far as the bias software goes, I would not suggest to you to buy the basic $100 version of it. It's very limited with tones. You'll find that you go into the tone clouds and half the presets that you download you won't be able to access because it's you're missing components and so forth. So they're about $200 each, for $200 US for each bit of software. The bias amp window, the one that I showed you before, this one where you can do all the basic, you build your own actual amp from the ground up. It's very intuitive, very clever, very unique, and it's got this amp matching ability so that you can drag in MP3s. That you've seen me do in other videos, but you can only do that if you buy the professional version, which is like $200 US. So, you know, between them all, it's a lot of money in software. So I thought in this video I'd just give you a good idea of what you get for each bit of software, what the differences are. It really is. Amplitude was fantastic just for playing. I use it all the time for practice. I think there's so many great tones you can discover in it that you can get a massive variation of tones, and there's always new things being added to it through the custom shop. It's really clever. They've got like the dime bag pack now and so forth, which sounds great. I really hope I haven't just played them off and making a clickbait video on what is the best. They're both great, they're just different, and I want you just to get something that you're happy with and you know what to expect when you get it. So thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah, take care. Enjoy.